Welcome to the channel. This is the second part of previous video Ranga's battle with Fritz. This video may contain spoilers for upcoming anime, so watch out. Subscribe the channel for more web novel chapters. So, now let's start the video. Fritz's dispersal sword can cut through anything and everything. From the tip of the sword, the divine protection of 4 attribute spirits was blended with an intense fighting spirit. The edge releasing the full accumulated power of each. It was a special sword technique designed for a long-ranged attack. Though it couldn't be compared with Arnaud's, Fritz could certainly use the skill because he was loved by the spirits. Since the structure was fairly simple, it was difficult to predict the energy released from the attack just by observing the technique's execution. It was an attack that simply wouldn't give any chance for evasion, and could cut through any cornered enemy. The demon wolf, however, didn't attempt to do anything and just received the attacks, then extinguished them all with a flick of its jet black fur. Something beyond what any of them could imagine occurring before now. Fritz's special attack had also been supported with the Earth Attribute's elemental magic, which increased the gravitational force in the targeted place. The purpose of such magic was to prevent the monster from moving, though, since the monster had no intention of moving in the first place, such efforts were meaningless. To completely burn the cut body, and to prevent the enemy from regenerating, hellfire magic was used. But there wasn't a chance that such flames could burn this monster's fur. The blizzard was to prevent the enemy from escaping, and the wind blade was prepared to attack if an attempt to escape was made. Every move was completely ineffective from even damaging a single follicle of its fur. There were no words to describe this spectacle other than one nightmare. Even if this monster stood as an elite A or A+ ranked monster, to come out unscathed by such a string of coordinated attacks could only be said to be something close to impossible. Wah, you damned monster. The other holy knights could only exclaim their utter disbelief. Even their vice commander Gerard held the same opinion. The demon wolf continued to stand where it had been, calmly, just as if it had not received an attack at all. Why, you, what the hell are you? Even for the elite demons of the Fang Wolf race, such a unique monster. No beast such as you shouldn't ever exist. Fritz could no longer endure and had begun shouting. As one of the commanders of the Holy Knight Squadron, Fritz has extensive battle experience against various groups of monsters. In his youth, he had fought against many elites from the Fang Wolf race. However, this demon wolf before his very eyes was outlandish no matter how you could describe it. Clearly, it had enough power to make it akin to a demon lord. Such a creature, was it originally a guardian deity that was enshrined in this area? Or perhaps, was it an unrecognized demon beast king who spread calamity in its wake? Nevertheless, neither he, nor any of the other holy knights knew the answer either. The group who put the protection of the entire world on their shoulders were dumbfounded. Fumu, little humans, my name is Ranga. This noble and mighty name was granted upon me by the great and wise Rimuru-sama. For the likes of you, I will permit the uttering of this name as a true blessing, be thankful. I am a member of the Star Wolf race. I, however, am unique. I am Ranga, the Fenrir, Star Nova Demon Wolf King Ranga. I am the one who shall crush, and annihilate all of Rimuru-sama's enemies. The monster declared it while facing Fritz and his compatriots, all in its deep baritone voice. What it had just said, was clearly a threat. A being that gave death to anyone who would oppose it. Without even being able to wipe away his now gushing sweat, Fritz was frozen where he stood. Thinking about his current condition as calmly as he was capable, to defeat this monster, there was no other option than to weaken it with the sealing power of the holy field. However, to even enclose this monster, who boasts such an overwhelming speed, it was not going to be a simple matter. After all, if everyone were to set out alone to accomplish such a thing, this beast Ranga would simply wipe them out one by one. Since the very beginning of this engagement, they had already been in checkmate. Desperately, Fritz churned his mind, trying to find some way to turn the tables on this overwhelming being. Even with the supporting magic of thought acceleration, to find such a method as to allow them to defeat such a foe could not be found. No matter how long one were to look for it. Certainly not in such a dire situation as this one. However, his eyes were dazzled by a blinding flash followed immediately by a thunderous roar that sounded from behind his position. Sorry for the interruption. As most of you guys know, my other channel got demonetized, so I want to monetize this one fast. So please help me reach 1K subscriber. Please guys, do subscribe the channel. The vice commander, Gerard, had attempted to make a slight movement. This, however, was instantly responded to with a blast of plasma. It was accurately aimed at the ground near Gerard's feet, causing him to instantly stop moving. In any case, Fritz wasn't sure of just how high the temperature of such an attack was, but the ground near Gerard's feet was melted and turned to glass. The heated air created a pulse of boiling hot air, as well as causing serious mental strain. As such, Gerard stopped moving foolishly. Even if they were the mighty holy knights, up until now they had never encountered such a powerful monster such as this one. Their once overflowing confidence had now been shattered. Despair wreaked havoc on the minds of Fritz's group. Even if they had their mighty spirit equipment as protection, there was no way to resist an attack akin to that bolt of plasma which was capable of turning the ground into glass. Moreover, to even evade an attack which was akin to lightning, even an expert holy knight would not be capable of such things. The defensive barrier and spirit equipment was the subject of their unwavering trust. They were certain there were no foes within the monster city capable of resisting such mighty existences. Even if they had to meet their deaths here, they could not afford to surrender to this monster. Sorry, you guys weren't lucky. It seems we ended up getting the most troublesome fellow here. Fritz's words were mixed with resignation. Commander, I suppose we'll just have to hope next time we'll be luckier. That's right. Besides, we always end up receiving the short straws. So what does it matter? We'll just manage this one and return back just as always. Each of the holy knights began cracking jokes. To each of them, they already understood a clear fact. Not one of them were getting out of this alive. Even so, for the sake of their honor, their pride as a holy knight, they would certainly slay it. Alright you cocky fellows, if we make it out of this, I'm treating you guys to drinks for a whole month. It's an order, everyone, let's make it out of here alive. Let's go. Fritz shouted out, and began to run with the full resolution to throw his life away. Those who had been taken out early on had finally been rejuvenated. Along with Fritz, the other 7 holy knights began to advance simultaneously. Just like in training, no, even more than that. Their movements far exceeded their norm. Born out of the desperation to not fall short for the sake of their comrades, they brought forth the strength they had never had before. In perfect clarity of mind and spirit, they performed a complex maneuver with ease. With this, the holy knights executed their desperate assault on Ranga at once. Then, darkness came. Feeling his consciousness faintly return, a sense of pain began to shoot through his entire body. A groan was let out and Fritz woke up. To even think of fainting with the sheer level of pain he was experiencing was difficult. However, wait a minute. I'm conscious, so, I'm still alive, but, if I'm here, wasn't I defeated? Immediately after collecting his senses, Fritz began to take in his surroundings. Thereupon noticing a windstorm whirling with such strength to be akin to a tornado that was carving the earth with its might. Ellipsis. He was certainly glad to be alive. Just as he thought this, he thought of his companions. While uttering a silent prayer that they was still alive, he began to search for any signs of them. In his vision, he came across his defeated companions. They were all scattered around as if they had been struck by the winds. Fritz made an effort to get up, but there was no strength within his body. So, he somehow used all the energy he had to crawl and close the distance between the nearest person. That person was Vice Commander Lama, who was fortunately also still alive. Filled with a bottomless joy, Fritz had already forgotten about the intense pain he was experiencing. Like that, just as Fritz had confirmed the survival of each of his compatriots, a certain voice announced the ushering of true despair. Humans, we shall continue our match after you have made your recovery. I am yet satisfied with our fight after my great rebirth. Look upon me here, I have brought full potion, complete recovery medicine. I do believe these will be more than enough. Now then, hurry and recover, shall we enjoy this more? It said with such a cheerful tone as its tail wagged back and forth happily. Like a demon, no, this demon wolf spoke words just as if he were a demon himself. Hearing those words, Fritz's consciousness was devoured by a great and unending despair. Ah, it may have been more fortunate if I had just fainted earlier. Fritz's mind became more and more despondent as he thought on his situation. Of course, such a happy ending to his story would not happen now. That's it for this video. Subscribe the channel for more web novel chapters. Meet you on next video.